Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It is New Comic Book Day for the week of March 31st, so we're going to get started right now. This episode brought to you by the Comic Book Store, 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey, 08028. Go buy some comics. I don't know why I keep forgetting the zip code. It gets weird, but whatever. Buy some comics.
Hey guys, it's Tim from Capes and Scowls and Team Ashen and the Comic Book Store and 65 other places. Don't worry, I looked it up. Let's talk some comics. I've got trades for you. I've got John Constantine's Hellblazer, Volume 2. This is the Neil Gaiman universe version of Constantine. I don't even know what that actually means, but I guess Neil Gaiman owns them now. Oh, Neil Gaiman. Disney Princesses. This is short comic stories full of fun and cheer with all of the Disney princesses. I like that. That's good. We've got Grit. This is a Scout comic. It's a 3-issue trade. It's $10. I didn't know a lot about it, but I thumbed through it and it looks awesome. So definitely check that out. The Teen Titans Raven book is available in hardcover.
That was a really good series.
It was a really good series, Paul says.
Not a series, book, but I mean still.
It's a book series thing. Paul loves it.
It's just a book.
Paul, it's a book. Stranger Things, Volume 4. This is the camp storyline that bridges Season 2 and 3, I guess. The Dustin story. You know, with the Never-Ending Story song. Shang-Chi.
I love that part of the series.
You're such a child. Shang-Chi. This is that most recent miniseries. This was super good. If you ever wanted to get into the character, they made him pretty accessible through there. Sonic the Hedgehog, Volume 8. I don't know who this character is on the back, but pretty cool. I didn't keep up with Sonic super long, but Sonic's always been written really well. Cinema Purgatorio. Hey, this is probably creepy. It's from Avatar. We've got Philadelphia, Volume 2. This book always does really well. And I've got The Black Ghost, Hard Revolution, from Dark Horse. I don't know anything about this, but it looks cool. It always makes me sad when I don't know a thing about a thing, but sorry. Tell me in the comments below what it's about and if I should read it. And then finally, Justice League Odyssey. This is Volume 4. This is the Dark Side stuff. I don't know if this is the end of this series or not. But Darkseid, you love him. You Snyder Cut people.
Up first, we have Department of Truth, issue number 7. This is the second issue in kind of a flashback episode. The art is drastically different from here to the point where it's almost distracting. I looked up in the preview guides. By the way, use your preview guides, guys. And we do eventually get back to the original artwork. So it's basically just for this series, but it's basically we're learning more and more about the early days of the Department of Truth under Lee Harvey Oswald's tenure, and as he's starting to piece together his crew and the usual people that you already recognize in this. As long as you get past the art, like I said, it's not bad. Like, the art is not bad. It's just when you have such a departure from the original art, it becomes jarring. Doesn't mean bad, just means very distracting. And yeah, as long as you can get past that for a couple issues, you should be fine. Pick it up.
All right, let me just say all my books pretty good, Paul. Pretty good, and they're all Marvel.
That's so weird.
I can't tell you the last time I read all of Marvel on this thing. I don't think I ever have.
I don't think you ever.
I always try to get some indie book in there, you know?
There's been times where you've got like just big two, but there's never been like just Marvel.
This week's just Marvel. Sorry, DC. First up, we have Avengers, Curse of the Man-Thing, issue 1. This book, apparently this is going to be continuing as different things, like the next issue is Amazing Spider-Man, Curse of the Man-Thing, and so on and so on. Your basic story is there's this evil woman who is science-based, and she is basically evil botanists, and they are going to try, she wants to basically destroy humankind so that some other species can have a crack at it, and all the other elders of her family are like, that's pretty crazy, you're insane, you shouldn't try to do that, we'll stop you if you get too close. She attacks the Man-Thing and pretty much turns his carcass into spores that pop up in all these different places, and they are full of fire, and they hurt many people. Many people die! This is a pretty dark book. It's a thinky, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm interested to see where it goes. the Avengers do their best to try to save people, but people just largely catch on fire the whole book. Don't fear the man thing. You won't catch on fire. You're still going to catch on fire.
Next up, we have Two Moons, issue number 2. I reviewed the first issue, and this still gets weird and crazy, and now we're not quite sure where it's going. He's still kind of trying to suppress as much of his Native American feelings as possible, and now things have gotten more and more convoluted because what happened in the first issue, he turned his guns on his own people and is now going to be court-martialed for it. And, of course, the Southern rebels notice that and kidnap him. And that just leads to so many other problems with this book. But it's still really interesting and really solid read. It's just I'm not quite sure where it's going to go with this. But I do want to read more. You should pick it up.
All right, next up. This book was really good, Paul. I got to tell you. Silk. Silk number 1 was pretty good. I know very little about Silk. I read her early stuff when they debuted her and didn't really follow her since. That being said, they filled me in with everything I needed to know. She works for J. Jonah Jameson's podcast, so there's some parallels to Peter Parker working for Jonah, and he likes her, unlike Peter Parker, which is kind of fun. And it's just her trying to find scoops and do a whole reporter kind of thing while being a superhero by night. They don't delve into a ton of stuff in this issue, but there's a good amount of setup at the end. And I did enjoy where it's going. I like it. Pretty interesting characters, so we'll see what happens with this. But surprisingly, I really enjoyed this book for knowing super little about Silk.
Almost my pick of the week. It is Batman Catwoman issue number 4. Oh, man. This is already leading to some complications in these 3 timelines that you're kind of figuring out. You see Batman's daughter in full Batman gear, which means this is probably going to be a key at some point, the first official appearance of the next Batman. But it's a really good issue. I love a lot of the heart-to-heart and a lot of the pulling of the heartstrings in the early and middle parts of the timeline. Whereas the ending timeline, the future timeline, very violent. It's getting very, very violent. And you see Selina not nearly as a sympathetic character as you assume she was early on. So, yeah, it's really, really good. You should definitely grab this. Not my pick of the week, though.
All right, time for my pick of the week, Paul. You know what it is.
I do know what it is.
That's why I'm not going to ask you. Yeah, because you heard me chuckling at it.
I knew what it was as soon as we started doing the books. I was like, oh, here it is.
Yeah, you know my pick of the week before I even read it. It's Beta Ray Bill. I love Daniel Warren Johnson. Paul, what was it when you screwed up his name? It was fantastic.
Daniel Warren Ellis.
Yeah, Daniel Warren Ellis. I love it. I could have not brought it up, but it's too funny. I had to.
And it's such a glaring mistake that I know it in my head.
Warren Ellis, great, I guess. So whatever.
Daniel Warren Ellis.
Daniel Warren Johnson is fantastic. And shut up, or I'm going to start saying it wrong. He does your writing and your arting in this one, and oh my goodness, so good, so incredibly good. You look at the cover and you're like, I don't really understand. What is this you know what this monster is if you think about it. I kind of didn't put it together right away. Basically, what your story is. Beta Ray Bill's on Asgard, King in Black stuff's happening on Earth, and this is what is being essentially sent their way to stop them. And it is a taken over version of Fing Fang Boom, which is so much fun to watch Beta Ray Bill try to fight this giant dragon that whenever he shows up in any book is very difficult to defeat. There's a lot of parallels. There's a Hook joke that's in here that made me laugh pretty good, but there's a lot of parallels to Hook that you find out as you read this story. Beta Ray Bill kind of feeling like a Rufio is all I'm saying. And this has got beautiful violence in it. It's got some thinky parts in it, and it's just, you feel kind of bad for Beta Ray Bill by the end of it. And, well, he's going to do something about it. I am very curious to see where this goes. I love Beta Ray Bill. I love Daniel Warren Johnson. This is like a no-brainer. You should love this. You will love it. Just go buy it. Buy 2. All right, just buy 1. Stay in your budget.
What is my pick of the week? It is Shadecraft, issue number 1. This is an awesome book. You have this social outcast, Zaddy, who is that typical not nearly as popular as the popular kids, and also has problems of her own with within her family life because of a brother that's in a coma and being compared to what he was, which is the most popular kid in school, and all of that, all the while being attacked by shadows and not really being able to explain what's going on, and then another chance encounter happens and something crazy comes about. I don't really want to drop the surprise in this at the end of the first issue, but you kind of see it coming, but it doesn't really hurt the payoff at all. This is an awesome book. I've immediately added it to my bin list because it's that fun and that great to read. It goes by too quick. I wish there was more, but there will be, because I mean, there's SG number 2 and everything like that. This is a fun read. The art is beautiful in this, and the rating is awesome. So I say grab it.
All right, guys, that is it. We are done. Thank you, everybody, for checking it out. Everybody who comments, everybody who goes and checks out the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Paul's on Twitch. He twitches over there. He does that Dead by Daylight game. If you want to watch Paul really just get his ass handed to him, it's really fun.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty good, yeah, when he plays a survivor and they just put him up on a hook the whole time, and he's like, oh, wow, they're cheating, and you see him, like, getting mad at it. It's so much fun. Go in there and mess with him.
They're just being jerks about it.
Yeah, Paul's being a jerk. So, that's it, everybody.
Being a jerk.
Shh, I'm doing the ending.
You don't get to know. You don't know.
Roofy, oh! All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm done talking. Goodbye. Have a good whatever.